guys, I'm Natel, and today I'm going to show you how to get Xenophage, the new exotic sniper machine gun in Destiny 2. The way you start this quest is you head over to the balcony that overlooks the pyramid, the balcony that you can find Eris in when you complete her weekly bounties. Right here there are going to be 4 statues. What you have to do is light all 4 at the same time, and when you do that, a chest is going to open. Now, I don't know if this is random for everyone or if it's different for everyone, but for me, this is my puzzle. This is how I did it, and this is how I got my chest to spawn. And again, I don't know if it's random. I do know that in order to fully complete this quest, you do have to complete the Shadowkeep campaign, and you do have to have access to the new dungeon. Now, once you have illuminated your statues, you're gonna get your chest, and this is gonna come out of the chest, and this begins your exotic quest. And this step is called Emergence. The thing about this quest is it throws you off in the sense that a lot of it is riddle. I'm not sure if that has to do with Halloween or not, but it's fun. And for this first step, you're going to Anchor of Light. What you're going to do is you're going to light fire pits or lanterns that are located on the ground, and you have to light them in a specific order in order for this quest, in order for you to move on to the next step. What you do is you find what looks like, I don't know if it's a hive knight or something, right there slumped down, and you start lighting your fire pits. And just follow the path that I'm taking, and you'll be able to light your fire pits or your lanterns, and you'll be able to move to your next step. This step, it's not at all difficult. It's that getting the specific order right and the timing right. And I will say the lantern or the pit that is located on top of the beams, that one took me a while to get. But again, the best way to do it is if you want to look at the pits, follow the path first, look at the pits, at the fire pits or the lanterns. If you want to do it that way first and memorize your route to make it easier, that might help. Or if you just want to pick up the orb and figure it out as you go, that works too. A second thing to note, like with the Leviathan's Breath quest, if there are multiple guardians doing this step, when you're trying to jump up and things like that, you guys will end up bumping into each other. So you guys won't phase through one another. So that's another thing to keep in mind, that if you see a whole bunch of people doing it at the same time, maybe hold off on it. This way you don't get in each other's way, and this way you can get it done in a timely manner. For this step, if you have any exotics that are going to help you to jump faster or move faster, it's best to equip those. If you feel that you cannot get it done in the amount of time that you have, equip those exotics. This way you give yourself an advantage to complete this step, and this way you can get it done the first try. And once you do that, once you complete Emergence, you are going to get Pathfinder. Now, Pathfinder takes a little bit more to explain, which is why I'm going to start here. With Emergence complete, you move on to Pathfinder. Now with Pathfinder, you're returning to the lost sectors on the moon. The same lost sectors that you went to for Deathbringer, only this time you're inputting a key code, in a sense. The best way to explain this is, this key code is on a 3x3 grid. The easiest way to remember this, on the top left, it's 1. So the first row, it's 1, 2, 3. Second row, it's 4, 5, 6. Third row, 7, 8, 9. That's the easiest way to remember this step. And now, for the 4 lost sectors, you absolutely have to kill every single ad in that lost sector, and you have to kill the boss. Once you kill the boss, once you cleared every ad out, these lost sectors will open up additional rooms or secret rooms. For this lost sector, which is K1 Logistics, your code is 1576. Just shoot it with your gun and your chest is going to appear in front of you. The purpose or the goal of this is to align the grid with the symbol at the top. That's the whole point of this. For every lost sector, that's what you're going to do, and every lost sector is going to have a different symbol. With K1 Logistics complete, you're moving on to your next lost sector. You're doing the same exact thing there. You're clearing out all the ads. You're opening the chest. You're killing the boss. You're going to the secret room and you're inputting your code on the 3x3 grid. Now each code is different. Some are shorter, some are longer. So for K1 crew quarters in Hellmouth, your code is going to be much longer than your code in K1 logistics. And again, this might take a few tries. For me, this lost sector alone probably took me 30 minutes because I kept inputting my code and inputting it and inputting it. It didn't work. So I kept doing it over and over. So for this lost sector, your code is 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 9, 8, 8. And that's going to spawn the chest in front of you. With K1 Logistics and Archer's Line complete, K1 Crew Quarters and Hellmouth complete, you're now moving to K1 Communion and Anchor of Light. Anchor of Light, your code is 7922. Once you do that, the chest is going to spawn in front of you like the previous lost sectors, and you're moving on to your final lost sector, which is Sorrow's Harbor, K1 Revelation. For this one, it's another longer code, like K1 Crew Quarters in Hellmouth. So for K1 Revelation and Sorrow's Harbor, your key code, your input code is going to be 4, 5, 5, 4, 2, 8, 5, 6. Once you do that, the chest will spawn in front of you and you will complete the Pathfinder section of this quest. And from Pathfinder, you move on to the Descent part of the quest. Now this is where you need to complete Shadowkeep, and this is where you need to have access to the new dungeon, because if you haven't completed Shadowkeep, you will not be able to get any further than Emergence and Pathfinder, and you will stay stuck on the Descent part of your quest, or you will be unable to even to start it. I say that because this is what happened to me. I made it up to this part of the quest because I had not beat Shadowkeep on my new character, on my second character, and because I had not beat Shadowkeep, I was not able to move any further. I got the Descent quest step, but I was not able to do anything. Now, you have got to beat Shadowkeep, and you've got to do a mission for Eris. Once you complete that mission, she's going to open up, or she's going to give you access to the new dungeon. Now, once you're in the dungeon, it seems very difficult because it's brand new and no one knows what to do. So for the Descent part of the quest, what you've got to do is there are a bunch of Scarlet Towers all over the place. They're all on the cliff sides. The main tower we're going to call your home base. The main tower you're looking for has 3 symbols hanging on chains in between 2 giant pillars. So from home base, that's what you're going to look for. You're going to look for that tower that has 3 symbols hanging on 3 chains from 3 pillars. What you need is those 3 symbols are going to tell you how to unlock the next part or how to keep going. So for this, you've got to complete the first encounter in order to move forward with this quest. You don't have to complete the whole dungeon, but you do have to complete the first encounter in its entirety. So from home base, you're going to see these symbols. Once you step out of home base and you see the other towers, you're going to need to look for those exact symbols that you saw in home base. Now what you can do is you can screenshot this for reference and you can go back to it in case you need help. And what you're going to do is each of those symbols that you saw in home base, you're going to go to and you're going to kill a knight, a witch, and a shrieker. You've got to do, and this step is for the knight, you're going to kill it with a sword melee. For the Witch, you're going to use heavy sword attacks. For the Shrieker, you're going to use sword blocks. You're going to deflect the Shrieker attacks back to itself, and that's going to kill it. So again, you're going to be in home base. Home base is the main tower that you're looking for that has the three symbols hanging that are in between two pillars. So there's a pillar on the left, there's a pillar on the right. There are the three symbols that are hanging, that are being held up by chains. You're gonna see these three symbols. Once you step out of home base, you've got to look for the towers that have those symbols, and you've got to go in. And the way it works is you can't automatically go into that tower that has a symbol. When you drop down, there's going to be ads. You've got to kill the ads, and that will open the door. And from there, there's either going to be a knight, a witch, or a shrieker, depending on your symbol. And the way you do this, you got to use a sword that you get from a sword bearer. The sword bearers are going to be walking around. You don't have to worry about that. Any bridge that you walk on, anything like that, a sword bearer will spawn in, and you need their sword to kill the knight, to kill the witch, to kill the shrieker, and that's how you move forward with the descendant part of this quest. It seems very confusing, but it's actually very easy once you memorize that. Home base has your three symbols, and from there you're going to go out, find those symbols, and kill the knight, the witch, the shrieker. And what you can do is one person can work on ads while another person works on the knight, the witch, the shrieker. And once you complete this, once you kill the knight, once you kill the witch, once you kill the shrieker, you're going to know how to move forward, because a beam of light is going to come up from one of the towers. You're going to drop down to that beam of light, take care of the ads that are there, a door is going to open, and that's going to get you into the next section. The next section is a bunch of doors. You're going to see it right away. You will not miss it. And the way you move forward is, or the way you get your next quest step is, you jump to the top left on the door that has no symbol. You jump to that door, you just walk in, and it's going to give you a prompt to pick something up. When you pick that up, it's going to be your next quest step, which is discovery. For the discovery part of this quest, it's by far the easiest step of this quest, and at the same time the hardest part of this quest. Just like that. The point of discovery is, as soon as you drop down to the pit, you're going to go to the left. You're going to see the path on screen. You're going to follow that path. You're going to see an ogre. You're going to jump down, and you're going to continue by the ledge. You're going to see some writing on the ground. You're going to see a prompt. Press X, hold X. You're going to see some floating platforms come up, and there's going to be an orb you got to pick up. With this orb, what you got to do is, from your starting point where you drop down, instead of going left, now you're going right. Seems easy, however, it's not, because there are two ogres in this encounter that, although massive, these ogres are incredibly fast. So what you gotta do is go to the left once you drop down, use the prompt, summon the platforms. When you do that, you're gonna get an orb. What you're gonna do with this orb is you're gonna take it to the far right, and there are going to be lanterns on the ground, or there are going to be fire pits on the ground, the same as what you did earlier. You're going to light those two pits, those lanterns, those two fire pits. It's going to open a door, and that's going to give you, your quest step's going to go from discovery to Slayer of Volmar, and this is a secret encounter within this dungeon, and it's going to take you to a maze within a maze, but luckily, again, follow the path on the screen, and it's going to take you to that boss room. Now, for the boss room, for the Volmar fight, there's two rooms. There's a safe room. It's not really a safe room, because ads will go in there, but we're going to call it the safe room for now. In the safe room, each corner contains a symbol. Each symbol represents an element. So those elements are kinetic, solar, void, or arc. Now, what you have to do while you are playing this whole encounter, when you are fighting Volmar, you're going to have a buff. For example, it's going to say Fiery Dread on your left hand side, and it's going to have a little fire symbol. Fiery Dread means it's solar. When you have the solar buff, what you're going to do is go into the boss room, pick up the orb. You can go into the safe room, check the symbol, the solar symbol, and go back into the boss room and dunk the orb on that solar symbol. In the boss room, there are 4 spots you can dunk the orb in, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, on opposite sides. Now, each of those spots, again, has a symbol that the safe room has. So in the safe room, you can actually see on each corner, you will see it lit up in purple for void, orange for solar, white for kinetic, blue for arc. So what you're doing is, again, when you have that buff, when you see your buff, you go in to the boss room, pick up your orb, go to the safe room, you look at the symbol that correlates with your buff, and then you take your orb and you dunk it in the boss room, again, to whichever spot your buff correlates to. And when you do that, you will be able to damage the boss with that specific element. So if you have Fiery Dread, you pick up the orb into the boss room, you go to the safe room, you look at the symbol, you know where to go, you go back into the boss room, you dunk your orb, then you will be able to do solar damage to the boss. And you got to keep doing that. You rinse and repeat. You look at your buff, go into the safe room, go into the boss room, dunk your orb, and then you deal damage. So boss room, safe room, boss room damage. Continue to do that. You'll whittle down the boss, and you will eventually complete your quest step. Before this video ends, I would like to give a very special shout out to Kratos and Minor of Nothing Remains, the clan that I'm a part of. Thank you two so very much for helping me out through the dungeon portion of this quest. I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own, and again, thank you two so very much for your help. I greatly appreciate it.
Since last we spoke, your fire team delved into the moon's depths and disrupted their dark ritual.
Thank you guys so very much for watching. I'm Nate Tal, and I'll catch you guys on the next exotic guide. And again, thank you to Nothing Remains. Peace.